Well, I'm hoping you enjoyed our first couple of unplugged videos, which is a whole different series of emails we're sending out. Other than Edutainment Weekly, the unplugged is just kind of like when we're out and about and we're just doing our deal, just random things that come up, kind of behind the scenes, if you will. And we got a lot of comments about our unplugged video with me and Mr. Moyo. If you didn't see it, you can go to YouTube right now and just type in Mister Moyo, M-O-Y-O, and you'll get lots and lots of, there's been a lot of people who've seen it. It'll come up right away. But if you didn't see it, we were in South Africa, me and my buddy Monica, we'd done a seminar, and on the way back home, we were in a store and saw this beautiful ostrich handbag, and it was dramatically lower than it would be in the United States. So I started to negotiate with Mr. Moyo, and he wasn't having any of it. It was unbelievable. So now, just so you know, that was a real video because this is the real handbag, and if you saw the other video, you know this is the real one. Now, of course, this one now has a lot of stuff in it because my wife's been using it for about a month and a half, and you know how ladies' handbags sometimes get filled up with stuff. But anyway, I thought it was pretty funny, and on the unplugged side, we were really just having fun and making a good point, but doing it in a good-natured way. And once again, go watch the video and come back, because every time I gave Mr. Moyo an objection, and I gave him a lot, like he was asking X amount of dollars, so I just kept taking half that much money and putting it down on the table and saying, okay, come on, give me the bag, you can do that, come on, you know you can do that. I'm a pretty aggressive negotiator, and he would just go, you're funny, I can't do that. I have to have twice as much money or you can't have the bag. And it was like, really? So this is ironic because for years I've been teaching people that just laugh at people when they give you an objection. It's one of the things I teach. I teach that you can either ignore it, that's fine. So if someone said that your product's too expensive, you can go, great, so do you want this one or that one? That's one way to overcome an objection. Another way to overcome an objection is you can repeat exactly what they said back to them. So if someone says, I think your bag's too expensive, you just go, you think the bag's too expensive? You know what I mean? And you say it in a questioning way to make them question why they would have ever said something like that. So those two things are always the way I've answered objections. Or I would laugh at someone. Someone says, I think your bag's too expensive. And you go, too expensive. That's hilarious. So you want to pay Visa or MasterCard? That's the way that I've always taught answering objections, but was so ironic to have it done to me, and not just once, again and again and again. If you'd have been there the whole 20, 30 minutes we were with Mr. Moyo, and I was desperate, now it becomes an ego thing for me, kind of, sort of, a pride thing, because, what do? I teach negotiations and sales for a living, and I can't get one stinking dollar off it. This guy was sticking to his guns. There was no way he was going to change, but he didn't show any fear. He didn't let I was trying to fear of loss him. Okay, I was trying to go, well, all right, I guess I'll have to go spend my money somewhere else. And he was like, okay, go spend your money somewhere else. Normally, when I've done that in different places in the world, when I've said, okay, I guess I'll just have to go over there and buy something, they go, no, wait, let me see what I can do. See, that's the biggest motivator in the world, fear of loss. But once again, are you doing it from a selling perspective or a buying perspective? I wanted to follow up and tell you that Mr. Moyo was a real man, and we really did buy the bag, and he really didn't give me a nickel off what I was doing. But the key was, every single time I gave him any objection, he just laughed at me. I just can't believe that he laughed at me. It really does work. There's so many things that you hear them in theory, but I'll leave this as the teaching point. Learning a technique in a classroom and not applying it will do you no good. Knowledge is not power. It's the application of knowledge that matters. Now, I don't know if Mr. Moyo was taught by his employer to laugh at the objections that the people who walked in the store, or if it's just part of his natural, the way he is. Either way, it worked very effectively. But even if it's not part of your natural makeup, you're not a natural born salesman like Mr. Moyo, I'm teaching you right now, the next time one of your prospects brings up an objective, or if you're not a salesperson, the next time your child says, Mom, could I stay up an hour later? You go, that's so funny. Come on, let's go to bed. That's all I got right now. We'll see you next time on Edutainment Weekly.